It's time once again for a special update with the City of New Hope. Mayor Kathi Hemken joining us. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks, Dave.
Always a lot going on in the City of New Hope, so we're going to try to bring you up to date on a number of items. Let's begin, Kathi, with what a lot of people are talking about. That's COVID-19 and just the city's response and preparedness. What is the latest at the City Hall? What is staff doing now?
Well, right now, staff is trying to come back slowly, so we don't have the whole staff there. We're just kind of alternating so there's not too many people in. When anybody comes into City Hall, they have to wear a mask, but it's not open to the public yet. It will be, and we're there for you virtually, and we'll keep being there for you virtually, but just give us a couple more weeks and we'll be open.
And council meetings continually happening virtually as well. And one of the items that's coming up at the next meeting talks a little bit more about Cooper High School. Give us an update on that process.
Well, last year we gave Cooper a conditional use permit, a CUP, that said they could use the stadium for other events other than sporting events to outside groups. With that, we said we'd give you a year to, and we'd look at it, make sure you were cleaning up after the event and there was somebody to call if something went wrong. Well, they've been cleaning up, but they haven't had a lot of events. And the number they gave to call was only staff during work hours. Well, that's not when the events were. So they came to us again and we said, we'd like to really extend that temporary CUP for a couple of years. Want to look at how we're doing. There's not a lot of events there right now. They did set up something so there's a person online and a phone number that they can call, the residents can call when the people renting the stadium aren't behaving. So we'll just keep an eye on that. This is their project, but we want to make sure they succeed.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about 169 and 42nd Avenue. People are going to see some action there. Tell us about this process of the bridge.
Well, don't go there is the real key.
Okay, fair enough.
On 42nd and 169, you can't get onto 169 for 42nd, nor can you get off of 169 under 42nd. So most of it is on the east side. They'll put some barriers up. This is going to be a couple weeks, and then the barriers will be up till they actually replace the bridge in 2025.
Very good. All right. So be careful driving in that area of town.
Go somewhere else.
Very good. It's a time of the year where we pay a little extra attention to geese and the geese population. What does the city do in that way?
Well, we addle the eggs, which means we take, not we, I don't do this, the animal control guy does. He puts on gloves, he goes and looks for goose nests, and then he takes the eggs, dumps them in vegetable oil, puts them back in the nest, and then of course they don't hatch. So he found 25 nests, or 25 eggs that he addled, mostly in Northwood Park and on the island in Northwood Lake. However, there are an awful lot of little baby geese running around the golf course, so we must have missed a few.
They are hard to catch up to, no doubt about it.
They are.
Let's talk elections. Seems a little early to be talking elections, but now is the time if people are interested in filing. Tell us how that process works.
Well, there's a couple things. One, we're recruiting election judges right now. Some of our judges are a little older and they're a little nervous about being there. The filing opens on the 19th of May till the 2nd of June. In New Hope, there'll be the mayor's race and 2 council members. So I did ask, should people go into City Hall to file? And the city clerk said no. It's best if you go online. You can get the city clerk's number. She'll make an appointment. What she'll do is she'll send the application out into the hall. She'll make sure you can get in. Just do a little preparing before you go.
newhopemn.gov, the place to find out all that information, to stay in touch with some of the city operations. And again, a lot that you need to do as a resident of New Hope, you can indeed do online at that city's website. Let's talk community development, talk about one of the things you can do online. If there's people interested in permits and some of that process, how is that being handled now?
So we're still issuing permits for plumbing and building and all those kinds of things. That has to be done online, and they can go into the community development department to do that, or they can simply call community development and get the phone number online, and they'll give it to them. One of the things that is happening or not happening is the point of sale inspections at the house sale. So there's been 18 homes that have been sold that did not have the point of sale inspection. They're keeping track of those 8 homes. My suggestion is if you're going to sell your house, you can go online and you can find the things that are needed on the point of sale inspection. It behooves you and your buyer to do those things, even though we, the city, don't come out and do that. Some of the inspections are being done by video, though, and that's kind of exciting. They can do, if they tell you to solder a pipe, and they take a picture of it, and they can look at it and say, yeah, that looks like it's soldered. So we're doing what we can to keep business moving along.
Couple other items from community development. I know they're doing some work to stay in touch with businesses and assist area businesses. What are some of the links that are available through the city's website to help out there?
Well, they're working with Hemken County. They just did a very large, I think 15, looking at my notes. Hennepin County is meeting with us with the Small Business Administration and DEED, the Department of Economic and something Development. Economic and Employment Development. And so by going to us again online, we can give you some tips that we've gotten from Hennepin County. The other thing that Hennepin County did is they had a $15 million grant for rent relief for low-income families. So if you think you need that, again, go online, get that information. If you get confused and you just can't, simply call me. I'll find somebody to call you, and we'll make sure you get that help, because sometimes you go online and you can just wander around and it's so frustrating. This is a frustrating time for people anyway. So they can always just call me. I will hook you up with somebody at that city staff, and they'll get back to you and we can get you some help.
Very good. Your beautiful flowers next to you remind me of this next topic to talk about hanging baskets throughout the city. Tell us about that process and when people can start to see some of those beautiful hanging baskets.
Well, they'll be on the east side of Xylon, that really pretty street we redid. They're not going up till we can be sure there's not going to be a frost. So I would be very surprised if they went up this week. Probably the week of the 18th, they'll go up. And then Ken Lawn will go and water them. And, well, they'll be watered by the irrigation system, but they'll be fertilizing them once a week. So they'll look pretty really quickly once they get up there. They're coming.
All right, we'll keep our eyes out. Another topic that has been discussed in the city and through the council is tobacco use prevention. Give us an update of where this stands now.
Well, we really wanted to limit the age that you could buy tobacco to 21. We had a very long talk with some of the stores that sell tobacco, and wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to hurt their business. If all the cities don't do it, then people just go across the border into another city and buy it. So we're again discussing it at the work session next week.
Let's talk business a little bit further. The business networking group is something that's very active in the city of New Hope, even during COVID time. Tell us what that group is doing right now and how people can get involved.
Well, they're meeting on the 20th at 8:30 in the morning. That'll be a Zoom meeting. If you don't have Zoom, you can download it for free onto your computer, your iPad, your phone, and then you'll get an invitation to join the meeting. And it's quite simple. You just push the little buttons and you can talk to people. Those guys are meeting with various groups to see where they can get some help for businesses. And we're just trying to promote any business we can. We want those little businesses to stay in business after this gets over.
Fantastic. And information about that group on the city's website as well, newhopemn.gov. Let's talk police for just a second. You mentioned how the city hall is starting to open back up a little bit. How about from a police standpoint? What's happening at City Hall as far as being open?
Yeah, well, obviously the police officers are working full time like they always do. The vestibule will be open so they can come inside. There's a phone in there. They'll be able to get an officer to talk to. He'll be behind glass, of course, and so will the person coming in. But you can always go into that door at City Hall, that very first door. You just can't get past that. And then as long as we're talking, oh, go ahead.
I was going to mention the Police Officer Memorial Day, something you wanted to point out that's very special for the police department and also for all of us to remember.
If you don't mind, I'm going to read this from the police chief because he's more eloquent than I am.
Please do.
May 15th is Peace Officers Memorial Day, set aside for officers and the public to pay their respects to those officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice. This year, May 10th through the 16th, 2020, is National Police Week. Traditionally, Minnesota law enforcement officers take turns standing guard at the Minnesota Peace Officers Memorial, which is located at the state capitol grounds. Unfortunately, this year's event has been canceled due to COVID-19 outbreak. The New Hope Police Department is encouraging our community members to honor Minnesota fallen officers by turning their porch lights blue during National Police Week. Some of the businesses like Ace Hardware and Knowles and
Yeah.
Home Depot have bought extra blue light bulbs. So you can put a blue light bulb in, turn on that light. It's just to let the policemen know that we do, in fact, think about them, and let's light up New Hope Blue. And again, thank you for your support, and that's from the Chief Fournier.
And that week is this week, the week of the 11th, and that special day, the Peace Officer Memorial Day, is on the 15th. Let's talk Park and Rec if we could for a minute, just to get a little update of what's happening there. I understand some discussions going on with Little League Baseball. What are the topics being discussed there?
Well, the Plymouth Little League, Plymouth New Hope has a Little League Baseball, and Cooper has a youth baseball. And they're trying to figure out a way for the kids to start playing again. It isn't the kids that are playing that's the problem, it's the fans. And so they have to be able to separate them. And we really want, it's time. It's time for kids to get out and get some exercise and be playing. So we're trying to do that. The other thing that's happening in May is the Step To It Challenge.
Right.
People can still sign up for that. Again, go online, go to Step To It, and sign up as a New Hope resident. And then it'll kind of tell you what to do, and you just log your miles or your steps and get prizes for it.
Yep, that website, steptoit.org. So a great way to get active, and it doesn't have to be just walking, even gardening or doing some things around the home count for some of that exercise. Let's talk about the ice arena, Mayor. What is the latest inside there? I know a lot of work being done.
There is, they're scrubbing the walls, they're painting the bathrooms, they're fluffing up the Zamboni, everything but skating.
All right.
And they did get a couple new skate sharpening machines. Hopefully we're looking to be able to open that up too, but again, we have to be very careful.
And how about the pool area and around the Civic Plaza? What is happening there? I know each week you go look at that, something new has popped up.
Golly, last week, there was a lineup of those blue cement trucks with the big barrels going around. They were lined up to pour cement. So they poured the base for the current channel. A lot of the sidewalks are in, the curbing is all in. They're just like little ants all over the place doing all kinds of stuff. Most of the stonework is in for the theater, and the seats are in. They're not really seats, they're more like steps that people are going to be able to sit on the grass or sit on the steps. Those are in. They're just working like crazy. The flags are up in front of City Hall. The lights are on in the pylon sign. So go see it if you haven't seen it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, beautiful sight. One date we want to mention as well is May 16th. That's coming up quickly here. It happens at the golf course. What is this event going on from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.?
Well, last November, December, things were looking a little grim. And we decided, we being a woman and I, decided that we should have a plant sale at the golf course. Well, this has been proceeding on, and we now have about 600 plants. So people are giving them to us. We're digging them up at the golf course. I have 100 coleus in my living room at the moment. That'll all get shipped over there as soon as it doesn't freeze anymore. So on Friday afternoon late, if you want to come and get a preview, you can. The plants are really cheap, 2 pots for $5. We're asking people not to ask for change. Just if all you got is a 10, you should probably buy 4 pots then.
Sounds like a good plan.
It's pretty cheap. So we're going to give all the money to the golf course, and they'll use it to replace some trees they lost and just to plant pretty flowers, keep the golf course looking pretty.
Wonderful. In our last minute here, we want to talk about some improvement projects around the city. Give us a look at a couple of the streets that are getting some attention and people should maybe watch out for as they drive around town.
Well, 36th and a half is getting their water main put in, so that's just all tore up. That's a mess. I understand they're going to take out the road base on Northwood Parkway, so that'll be a gravel road for a little while. I think they put in an emergency exit so that people could actually get out when they're putting the new stuff in. So it'll be a mess, but like all of our streets, you won't get assessed for it. And when they're done, it'll be just gorgeous.
Final note, we want to talk about human resources within the city, a new position being searched for, and also some talk about workforce preparedness. Give us the insight on those 2 topics.
Well, an administrative specialist position is on external, so we're looking for somebody to replace one of the guys that left. That'll happen next week. You'll be able to see that again online. Always go online. There's so much going on. The HR staff has been meeting with health partners trying to figure out a good, safe way to bring all of the staff back. We'll put up glass shield by all of those 3 front desks so that when people come in, they can talk to the people behind the desk, but there won't be any physical contact. And they're checking on ways to take temperatures and making sure people are well. We really want to keep as many people well as we can.
Mayor Hemken, as always, thank you so much for the information. And the mayor many times mentioned the city's website, so newhopemn.gov, the place to find out all of the information we talked about, plus other things that might be happening in the coming days. Mayor, enjoy your afternoon. Thanks for joining us once again.
Thanks, Dave.
Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.